I was on maternity leave after having my second daughter. I had her November 10th, 2021. I was laid off on May 17th, 2022. I was still on mat leave. So I was expecting to have a year off, and I was going to go back to work. And got a text message that was like,
Not a
hey,
text message.
are you available at 10 a.m.
Or
for a call?
Wait, on maternity leave,
I was
you
on
got
that
the
leave.
text?
That's legal?
Here's the way that they can make it legal.
What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
It's Melody.
And Cody here, and you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mama's Den podcast. That part. You a hater. You got nothing?
I did. I'm fighting for my life right now.
Okay.
I was tired.
Okay, I'll get us started then.
Okay.
So,
warm me up.
I was about to say Melanie and Cody here. Ashley and Cody here.
Okay.
Melly Belly is on the East Coast, as y'all know,
Yes.
and we were granted the amazing opportunity to join Melissa and Mel from the
Yes.
Gin and Juice podcast in their studio.
Yes.
Where we put up our sign.
Yes.
And are currently talking to their Patreon. But we're so excited to have these two mamas on the show. And so, all right, Mama's Den Village. I am Cody Elaine Oliver. I am a mama of 3 boys, 6, 6, and 9. But the twins will be 7 very, very soon. Ashley.
I am Ashley Chia. I'm a mother of 4 daughters. Amira is 16. Azara is 9. Asia is 7. And Natalia is 3.
All right.
I did that. And can you ladies introduce yourselves? Tell us how many children you have, what your name is.
Okay. I am Melanie. I go by Mel. I have 2 girls. One is 9. McKinley is 9. And my youngest is 3. And she'll be 4 very soon in November.
Wowza.
November
Wait,
what?
when?
Micaiah, November 10th.
Oh, my baby's November 22nd.
The youngest one?
Yeah, my
Oh,
3-year-old.
they should probably not meet.
Why?
I feel like they would run us.
Wait, she's a Scorpio.
She's
She's
a
a
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Okay,
Yes.
because Melanie,
Fiona.
her daughter is going to be 4 as well in December. So we had our babies like a month apart.
Oh,
Yeah. And so they're both Sagittarius.
Okay, got it.
But it's turned up time. But this is funny.
Turn up
Okay.
time.
Okay.
My name is Melissa Fredericks, Miss Kev on Stage on social media. I am a mom of 2 boys, 19 and 17.
Wow.
I know. Joe has application meetings today, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait, and for our village to know, you guys are also sisters.
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
So these
Not
children are...
SWV sisters with voices.
I
but
wish, though.
No.
Man,
Well,
if we could
in our
sing.
younger days, we thought we were
We
in
thought-
Vogue and TLC.
It didn't sound good.
No.
Absolutely not.
Did your mom tell you?
We knew. We had
Okay.
ears.
'Cause I'm telling my kids
what,
they can't sing.
what did Cardi B? Yeah, we heard ourselves.
Oh, Lord.
That's hilarious.
So y'all are sisters who host a podcast
Yes.
together with 4 kids between y'all, but they range from 3 to 19.
Yes.
Mel is a girl mom
Yep.
and Melissa is a boy mom.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So what made y'all even start working together?
Yes.
How long has that been happening?
Well, Mel, you want to start? It's happened when you lost your...
No, we actually start. So actually,
Oh, come on, actually.
before when I was
McKinley?
on maternity, when I was still pregnant, we started a podcast called Underreported.
That's right.
It was a true crime podcast.
That's right.
wow.
That we just had a bunch of, we just were both very interested in true crime. And so we started a podcast called Underreported. We did that for a little while. And then I got laid off from my job.
Okay.
And we pivoted. We decided to do a kind of podcast that was more reflective of our relationship. And so that is the way Gin and Juice was born. And yeah.
I love that. I kind of low-key want y'all to go back to your true crime. Maybe that needs to be like
Well,
a monthly thing you do.
Mel pivoted. It was 2 pivots.
Okay.
Mel moved Underreported. She kept doing Underreported with rotating
Yeah.
co-hosts.
Okay.
And then that turned into, low-key, I'm not a lawyer, but
it did.
that turned into The Debrief.
Yes. So I have my platform. I'm known online as I'm not a lawyer, but and I cover all things legal. And that has now turned into, I have a podcast as well where it's the debrief and we just cover legal things on
So
there.
I want to understand how that started because I know you, of course, as Melissa's sister,
Yeah.
and then also that you're not a lawyer.
Yes.
But how and why did you start talking about like trials and legal stuff?
Well, It actually was through Gin and Juice. So I have always been interested in legal things. That is just, I worked in children's content my entire career. I worked at Netflix for 6 years. I worked at Cartoon Network for another 6 years. I worked at CNN. But I was always interested in legal things. And so I would just watch them kind of in my spare time. We were having an episode of Gin and Juice, and I was like, you guys, I have to tell you about this trial I was watching. And because we shoot live with the Patreon, I was talking about the trial, and the patrons were like, Mel, you should make a TikTok about this because you're so excited and passionate about telling us this, like you should do it. And then I went home and I was telling, I think I text Melissa or voice noted her, like, I feel really weird about talking about this stuff because I don't have any like credentials to do this. And then she was like, you should say I'm not a lawyer, but and make the video.
I love
so
that.
then I was like, I'm not a lawyer, but let me tell you about this trial. And it worked.
Okay,
and
I love this.
I'm a branding genius, low key.
You
I don't give
are.
enough
Literally
credit.
are.
I don't give enough
You
credit.
absolutely are, and
That's
you deserve
amazing.
all the credit because
Yes.
your husband did just release a book, Successful Failure,
And
and he
he
gave
said
all
it
the
was all
credit.
you.
as he should have.
And
Because
it's
he been should have did my marketing plan. He did it late, but
Listen.
it's okay. It
he
worked
did
out.
it late, but y'all still won.
Yeah, but
New
he
York
still
Times
got it. He
bestseller.
still
Come
got it.
on.
So what I love about both of you is that, well, I want to understand the timeline too. But what I love is like your moms, your wives, and you have had many pivots and also like carving your own lane. And I feel like, especially in 2025, we trying to figure out new things. We like everybody.
Yeah.
And so like I like understanding how long ago was this? I love the fact that you were like scared. You called your sister and then you just said, all right, we doing this.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, for our village, like this is, how big is your TikTok? I'm not a lawyer.
I'm at 1.2 million.
Period.
Right? Girl.
Thank you.
In a little over a year?
No, I made my first TikTok, the one that I was talking about. I made that on June 7th, 2023. So we're 2 years.
That's amazing.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Very cool.
So, okay, tell us. Y'all help the mamas and the aunties, because the village, you know, the mamas in village is like everybody in the village of raising children. Help us like understand what it took for you to make these choices. What was the sacrifices? What were the fears?
All of the fears, all of the things. But what I will say is we had been, for underreported, I think, again, we had just had an interest in that. But I was on maternity leave after having my second daughter. I had her November 10th, 2021. I was laid off on May 17th, 2022. I was still on mat leave. So I was expecting to have a year off and I was going to go back to work. And got a text message that was like,
Not a
hey,
text message.
are you available at 10 a.m.
Were they
for a
gonna lay you
call?
off
Wait,
during
on maternity leave,
I was
you
on
got
that
the
leave.
text?
That's legal?
Here's the way that they can make it legal. They told me I was laid off and I had to turn in all of my things. However, they keep you as an employee and keep you paid until the
Maternity
leave is over. And so I had made the decision at the time Netflix offered up to a year fully paid. And I was like, I'm going to take that this time.
Yep.
So I had put in the system that I was going to return on November 10th, 2022. And so because of that, they were like, you're laid off in November, you won't come back, but you'll still be paid. So they paid me up until that time, and then I got my severance and went on about my day. So I was very stressed, but thankfully I am related to the on stages. And so Melissa was like, let's do this podcast. Like, let's figure this out. And let's, so I am truly grateful for them because they were able to help me sustain over the time. And then when, the idea came from, I'm not a lawyer, but again, it was her being like, just say this, and it worked. So it was still a ton of fears and it was a lot to navigate, but I truly, truly have amazing role models that when I don't know and I am nervous, I say all the time, Kevin sends me voice notes encouraging me all the time.
It's such
and
good
it's
encouragement.
so sweet. He'll just
beautiful.
randomly be like, Mel, just make the video. Even if you feeling a way about it, just make the video. Or I'm sure, you feel crazy and people don't see the vision, just keep going. And it'll just be a random Tuesday. And I'll be like, ooh, Jesus was talking to him because I needed that today. So I have them as role models that really kind of help me navigate this space that I am.
When you started the I'm Not a Lawyer But, was it meant to be a platform, or was it like, I have fun talking about this, so I'm just going to talk about it?
I just was like, this case is crazy and you guys should hear about it. And that's all it was meant to be. We went to dinner, and by the end, I probably had 700 followers that were probably all stage crew at that time, okay, on TikTok. Like, I was like, no one's going to see this. But by the end of dinner, the video had reached like 300,000, 500,000. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And at that time, I wasn't attached to my phone. I just made it and truly forgot about it. We got in the car and I was like, oh, Greg, something's happening. And you see the numbers and you're like, I don't know. And over time, after I make that, I think maybe I made another one. But what happened is people started saying, can you cover this? Have you heard about this? You should do. And so I started if somebody told me about something, I would just make it.
Yeah.
And that just continued to grow. And so it became something I was not planning on at all.
What I'm seeing and hearing
Come
is
on, stay in the spirit.
somebody from Only Murders in the Building needs to have y'all on the show
Come
and
on.
write in a character where y'all are doing your podcast.
Oh, I like it.
About this, and that you have a spot on the show.
I
so
love
that's
it.
what I
know.
felt God was trying to tell me.
We know a writer for Only Murders
Well,
in the
then,
Building.
then
We do.
Then it is shall be.
Shall be.
We do, a black woman.
Okay, well,
I love that.
y'all
I've never
are
watched
right
that
or
show, but
on
I
in
am
that
curious
episode.
about
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Melissa.
Yes.
So I feel like I have watched you. I remember us having a conversation in like 2018, maybe. In our old, maybe it's 19 because I met you in 2018. In our old office, in the chair, we have bean bags in this one room, and we were talking about like what you want. We were talking about Kev and y'all, but we were like, well, what do you want? You want to be, on camera, and you like really didn't.
These things are still true. People are always shocked to hear these things. These things are still very true.
Really?
Yeah, I've taken a break since July. I want to say you know what it is? I think that sometimes there is a pull to have an outlet, and then other times I really have a spirit of like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm tired, and I don't really want to do this. But sometimes it is fun, and I think the balance for me sometimes is taking the pressure off and allowing myself not only the freedom but the flexibility to just show up. I love aesthetics. I love things that look nice and look neat and like do the things, and I always want my content to reflect that, but that requires a lot. And sometimes I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and sometimes I just don't have the want to, and so then I just don't do it. So then it's like, okay, well, Melissa, you have two options here. You can lean into all of that, but you got to find the desire, the time, and the want to, or allow yourself to kind of go back and forth. When it's all of this, it is, and when it's not, it's not. And a lot of times I feel like because there can be, I still do. Sometimes I really lean into it, and then sometimes I get in my head about it. This is just my honest truth. I'm okay most of the time not niching down, because I feel like my actual niche really is just womanhood. Because I feel like as women, there's a lot of things that you just are like, I'm going to do this today. And then there's a season of it, and then you're like, well, that was fun, and I'm over it. Online, that can feel very like scatterbrained. And if you don't know how to like I'm just enjoying the journey of Melissa being a woman, and sometimes it's hair, and sometimes it's cookies, and sometimes it's this, and sometimes it's arts and craft. And today she has a really cute outfit on, because that's just the reality of like who people are. It could feel like I'm so confused. What is your content? And it's like, I'm just a person living.
Just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl. And I think sometimes finding my corner, it's a book. I remember I was doing the books. I'm like, girl, I've had this book club. There's 10,000 women in this book club, and I've had it for years. And she was like, you do book content now? I was like, first of all, relax your tone. Relax your tone.
Girl,
Just because I haven't talked about it in a year doesn't mean I don't be doing it. But like, but it's like, this feels sporadic. This feels random. And so sometimes I can like take that.
Did
Yeah.
someone say that to you?
Yes.
Ew.
First off, let me just rewind because
Boo her.
everything that you're saying, and I get it, like not intellectually, influencer world,
Yeah.
right? They're like, you have to define this.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
kind of
I don't
content do
believe
you
in
do?
that.
Yeah.
Like objectively, I love your content.
Same.
Thank you.
Same.
Like, and you saying, you articulating, like my brand, my content is womanhood. I'm like, oh, me too, girl. Yes. Like, I mean, just highlighting everything that you do because you also do it from a place of where it's clear. It's like, this is fun to me. This is like, I taught myself how to do makeup. Like,
Yes.
so we're learning. I like looking at how you are taking on the things that you're interested in and like becoming an expert in them, you know, to the extent that you want to be, right? I want to make, have you made sweatshirts? You've made like
Oh, yeah, the cricket,
clothing.
yeah.
Yes, girl. And that's so fun. I always tell you all the time,
Yeah.
like, I want to be you. I want to be in my house making clothing for my family with their names on it, which I currently purchase on Etsy, but I want to make my own.
Yeah.
And like creating birthday experiences and, you know, like, I love it.
Well, thank
I do
you.
too. I
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing. I
Thank
think
you.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know me, I don't believe in anything anybody tell me what to do. That's part of the reason why I had to leave this company because they were managing me as an influencer, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not about to put my husband on internet dancing off beat. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. Not doing that. If that, I don't believe that God said that that's how I'm gonna be wealthy by embarrassing my husband.
That's good.
On the internet.
I actually really like that.
Absolutely not. No. But also it's frustrating because I understand like when you feel called to do many things and you just want to exist and it's like just as a creative, I think sometimes people are always like, you know, there's all these theories of like you master this, then you go to the next thing,
Yeah.
and you master that. First of all, women don't operate in that way. I don't think inherently we are that way. We literally are like pumping our breast milk and directing a show at the same time and then like answering the door and answering the phone and leaving, let me tell my school I got to pick up the kids. Like that's just not how we move.
Yeah.
And so I think that just doing what speaks to you, there will always be an audience. I always think of like Martha Stewart and not to even be like racy, but it feels sometimes like white women get to just exist and they can just do what they want to do and they put it on the internet and people just love it. Even with Black content. Do you know what I mean? Like I always, because when we were pitching a TV show, I was like, but all these white shows I watch, there is no major arc. They're just hanging out.
existing.
There's nothing happening. And I'm interested because it's just people existing.
Yeah.
And why can't Black shows be like people existing? Why does it always have to be something major and dramatic? Like, no. And so I feel like with Black women as we create or Black people, like we want to just exist.
Yeah.
Maybe I made a pie today. Maybe I made a sweater. I don't know. Maybe I was in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That is how I create it. And I know it's chaotic, but I don't care.
I'm here for it.
I don't care.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. There's people. And you know what it is too? I think this might be controversial and maybe it's not. I don't know. And I know this is my algorithm, but I'm willing to admit that because everyone's algorithm is a reflection of who they are. I have a overconsumption algorithm right now. So everything is a haul and a buy and a this and a that. And I am so... I don't halfway don't be linking stuff in my thing because I'm like, just use it as inspo.
Yes.
You don't have to spend your money.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I'm not in a position, and this is no shade or disrespect for influencers who are link affiliate influencers.
Yeah, because that's
make
how they
your money.
Yes,
Money
that's
to
how
be
they
made.
make There's money to be made.
And the girls are making money.
They are.
And
Right.
don't be surprised when I start linking.
No.
Link it, girl.
Link.
The thing about it is,
I'm not linking.
you should, because the thing is, you're really a salesperson for these companies.
you
So
are.
I'm not like anti-affiliate links. Let's be clear. I'm not anti-linking. Let's be clear. If you
Yeah.
ask for a link, I'll give you a link. That's no problem.
Right.
But I think for me, I'm also like, do I really need another shirt? Do I really need another Amazon dress? Do I really need? And so it's like that part of the like fashion world for me is I don't want to say it's boring because I do love a good outfit. Still, this is why listen, I'm a complicated being, okay? Because I'll say this and this at the same time. Be like, girl, you talking about both sides of your mouth? Correct. I love it, but I'm also tired. So it's like, what else can I get into? We were my mom's was at the house. We ordered Postmates. They didn't put dressing in her salad. I said, we can make dressing.
She's always trying to make something.
We can make some dressing from scratch. I got the stuff. You
I
wanna
always
do
do that.
Yeah.
They always forget to do
Oh,
that.
that,
on
right?
dressing.
That's the
fun
worst
to
when they
me.
forget to do
Oh
that.
my God.
It happened to me the other day, but I was like, I got oil, I got
and
lemon, salt,
balsamic,
pepper,
some lemon.
I got it, boo.
Listen,
I
to
got it,
me,
yeah.
like that's kind of like what's exciting for me right
Yeah.
now. And so it's like, do I really want to like review a makeup palette? I don't.
In this
Again, this is
moment.
no
In
shade,
this
no
moment.
disrespect. I don't. I mean, I have a makeup video I just did, but I'm like,
You know what I
how
think
many
it
times
is?
you gonna keep doing this?
I feel like, well, number one, I'm 40. I think I don't know if this is for you, but I think something that happened to me when I was 40, and I also think it's a reflective of your life, which is a blessing, right? What I think happens too is like, you get to an age where you're like, oh, none of this even matters. Do you know what I mean? And then when you have a home where there's real love and you have a partner who loves you and you're really friends and your kids are doing well and you're like, this is literally the only thing that matters. A lot of this stuff becomes like just it loses its joy. And then I think for a lot of us, when we started on Instagram, like that was making money and I needed to be on there. So there was a drive, right? Where it was like exciting because of the money. And I'm like, $20,000 for a post? What? I'm gonna make 50 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when I got to a place of like financial stability, we bought our house, our second home rather. And I just was kind of like, but I just kind of felt like I got my mom a car. Like I was just like, wait, I'm fine. I actually didn't really like doing this. I liked the money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now it's like once you take that out and you're like, I'm financially okay, it's really hard to do it because you in your mind know like we're doing this for the money, which isn't anything wrong. Because I look at what's her name, Christy Sarah. I was looking at her the other day, like that girl is smart.
Yeah.
And I was looking at her house and I'm like, how she also went from just doing pranks on her husband and now she's at Fashion Week and doing these big
Amazing.
And I'm
And
like,
pranking
that
with
is-
Alicia Keys.
Yes.
And
But I'm
Because
like,
the content
that's-
will take you places.
Yes.
One thing about it,
Yes.
they will take you places, put you in rooms, and line your pockets.
But if you're smart like her, she's elevating her brand.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah,
now
for
she
sure.
doesn't even have to do those
Yeah.
pranks anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So to me, that's the goal is
Yeah.
to get it to take you somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it being like 2025, and it's been a difficult year for a lot of people, and I think last year, especially in Hollywood, was rough. I don't know about the rest of the world, but all the strikes and things, and like actually, oh yeah, go get your.
Okay.
Ashley's going to get her smoothie.
Oh, it arrived.
Live your life, queen. We'll be here. I'm still gonna. Well, I want her to answer this too, but I'm gonna start with y'all because why not just continue? So with all of us being content creators in a sense, and I actually haven't really monetized. I have a little bit here and there, but I haven't really put effort into it. And this being a difficult year for a lot of people, where I think a lot of people are starting to.
Yeah.
So number one, like, how have you mustered up the energy and the get it done-ness over the years with the children, with the husbands, with the like, I just don't feel like it. Like, how have you been able to do that? For anybody who might be like, times are hard. Should I do that today?
Yeah. You want to go?
I'm not good at this. I'm being so serious. Like, the reality is that I am not good at prioritizing and balancing the things that would be content related first. I'm willing to also sit and reflect on the fact that that is a privilege. It's a privileged position to ask yourself, is this what I want to be doing?
Yeah. That's true.
Does this job bring me joy? Is this job fulfilling? That's a privileged question to be asking yourself. The reality is most of us work, like it or not, because we need the income to provide for our families,
1000%.
period.
Yeah.
And so I'm fully aware that this is a very privileged place to be. And so for me, when it's not fulfilling, I can say the things that I do enjoy, the way I want to exert my time and energy looks like making breakfast for my kids in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a privileged place to be. Ensuring I can pick my kids up, ensuring that we can have dinners. I can take my son to, Kev takes him, but for soccer, like these are the things that I end up diverting my attention to instead of doing the content thing. It is my hope that once Joe graduates and gets a car, that I'll have more of my time back. But even, I started going to the gym 3 days a week.
No, that's
And
right.
I felt really bad about it though.
Why?
Because one of the time or two of the days I go from 6:30 to 7:30 instead of 6 to 7, which means I can't take Joe to school and I can't make breakfast for him. When I tell you I struggled, I was like, you don't have a 6 o'clock at all that we can, like, I really, really struggled because I'm like, it's his last year of school. I've always taken Joe to school. I generally make breakfast for him. And now, like, I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, for what, the gym? Like, maybe I could just start in June.
For what, yourself?
I know, but like that's the tension is
Yes.
always the things that Melissa should be doing, the things that Melissa wants to prioritize versus like the things that I want to do in my household. When those two things are in direct conflict, I
understand.
always choose my family.
Same.
So I asked them, like, right now it's 2025. It's hard for a lot of people. Some people are jumping into content right now.
Yeah.
And so I was asking them, and I want to hear from you too. Like, how do you do it when you don't have the energy? When you don't even know where to start?
Yeah.
Like, but you're like, I need to create something. I need to create some options for my family, or for myself.
Well, it's interesting what she was saying about a place of privilege, too, because I was going to say something about that, and then I'll answer that. You know what I learned from my mom? My mom, she's such an interesting individual. She's very, like, hippy-dippy, and I didn't realize that she came from money because she left her family, and they didn't really support her having a baby, so she had to start her whole life over.
Oh, wow.
We were very poor. And so I was very confused when I said they own how much? They have a farm. How many acres? I'm so confused by all of this, right?
Yeah.
And then I was looking at my uncle, and he has a really great life. I just said maybe him and my mom made just different life choices. No, I mean they did, but also
yeah.
no. I'm like, oh, okay. But my mom, what I learned from her is we really lived in the hood, and she was so happy, and it was so confusing to me. So confusing. Because I had such a great childhood. And like when I tell people where I grew up and stuff, and they're like, huh? And when I talk about my childhood, they're like, you would have thought you grew up like the Huxtables. I'm like, no. Like we lived in the hood. We were gang fights outside our door. But like in our home was super safe. But my mom, she taught me this really important lesson about like love and what's actually important. So my childhood, I grew up with happiness. It wasn't attached to things. It was literally attached to my mom making us our favorite meal every year for our birthday. My mom making us breakfast. But she also was a paramedic. So she, for a period of time, could not make us breakfast. So my older brother did me and my sister's hair. He made us breakfast, and he walked us to the bus stop. But it was not like I felt like I was missing something because there was just so much love. So it's your point about that is that the amount of love you give your child, he's not even going to, you're thinking about that, but he won't remember that. Will remember the feeling and love that you've given him in all areas of his life. But equally, for people that feel like when you're like, people have to, your life and what is joy to you, that's a decision for you. It doesn't have, like when we say a place of privilege, I felt privilege over my friends who have more money than me because they didn't grow up in two-parent households. They didn't grow up in loving environments. My friends were always in the hood in my mom's house. And to this day, I'll call them and like, what you doing? With your mama? You know what I mean? They're so close to my mom because the feeling and the love and that she gave them so I hope people don't feel like, even when I say I don't feel like I have to create these things, like some people will look at my bank account and be like, girl, no, you need to make some more videos. I don't know why you think you're good. You are not. But for me, it's like, no, I look at my family and I'm like, I have somewhere to live. I have food.
That's a blessing.
I don't have to go on a trip.
Listen, in
I don't
2025.
Yes. And that's when I stopped creating those, because I was like, I don't need to go on this extra trip. Like, I feel like I have the necessities for me and my family. So I think it is, you have to prioritize what means something to you. And that typically will be your motivation to create. If you feel like I need to survive, you're going to make those videos, whether they're good or not, because that's where I started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you get to a place of comfort, it's like you can decide what's going to be your motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Melanie?
My motivation, well, two-part here. The version of me that existed before I worked at Netflix is very different than the version of me that exists today. And that is because Netflix was like, they threw you in the fire and good luck. And it just required a level of work ethic that I just didn't even know I had. It like is a training ground for entrepreneurs. Like you literally, the way that employees operated, I don't know what they've been doing since I've been going. But when I was there, you are responsible for your stuff and show up ready to speak on behalf of your stuff.
Wow.
And so I feel like the way that I work now is because of my experience there. I just watched a movie the other day, and the woman in the movie was like a workaholic. That was like the character. And her husband was like trying to get her to pay attention and do all these things. And she was so focused. And I was like, is this me? I never considered myself this, but that might be. I may have reached the point in my life where I am now a workaholic. And so the other part of what I say that to say, I really enjoy this. I've never been in a space where I enjoy what I'm doing this much.
Yeah.
And my drive comes from me genuinely wanting to know what's like. There's a trial happening, and I'm like, has the jury been selected? What's going on? And it's because it's a genuine interest.
Yeah.
And so even when I'm tired, I bet you I know what's going on in that
That is
trial.
hilarious.
And I bet you I'm going to make this video because I am that invested in the
Yeah.
content that I'm making, and the work ethic that I learned at Netflix is what keeps me going. The thing when I talk about entrepreneurship, the thing that I didn't expect or didn't realize is when you are at work, they tell you when to show up. They tell you what's due and when it's due. When you are working for yourself, there's nobody to tell you.
Yeah.
And so you have to have that self-motivation in order to get whatever you got to be done. It's you. And I think about that all the time. The reason I am doing the things I am is because I am interested, and I have a work ethic now that I got from Netflix,
Yeah.
for sure.
Love what you do.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll be transparent in saying that, like, I know it's been a difficult time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I would say for me, especially, my business is entertainment, digital media, TV, film, etc. But because of how like volatile it's been, and because like Black is a dirty word, and like
Yeah.
I run a company called Black Love, like I've definitely been trying to identify what are the things that I can do outside of that that will make me feel like I have some control. And so social media is definitely one of them. I'm trying to be more consistent. And so I, just kind of taking from all of you, and just because it's hard, to have the energy and the positivity, I would say, to pick that phone up and start recording some stuff I wasn't recording 6 months ago because I didn't care. It's like cute pictures of my kids, and now I'm like, oh, y'all want this hair video that y'all asked for a lot of times? And yes, I know the goods are good, but remembering to like do it, to edit it,
It's
to
hard.
make some cute little beats on.
But once you get into that flow, it becomes...
It's easier.
Yeah, it's easier. It's just hard when you get out of it. To go back into
Oh,
that.
man.
That is the struggle that I found.
Yeah.
Because to your point, I was, remember, that was me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, stand right
I know.
here.
I
record,
really
record.
need you to be that now. this girl right here. I'm like, let's do a day of content. She's like, I don't know.
It is hard to get over the mind.
It's you can't go back in the matrix. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Once you're out, and you're like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm going to be here to support you any way that I can.
Gracias.
The other thing I will say, this is for me, because at one point I was like, oh, I should do like family content and make I am the content. And the thing that I know about myself is I don't want to be. That is not, I am not a fashion girl. I like sweats. Genuinely.
Yeah, you do.
And that's what I'm gonna wear. I will wear makeup if I'm going out with my husband. Other than that, you're gonna get the same face. So
Look, and he probably don't want it. Men don't care about no
He's like,
makeup.
I already like your regular face. You
Yes.
are both
You guys
very
are
beautiful.
both, yeah.
And I see your mother, and I see when y'all get it. She's beautiful.
But when I first was doing that content, I was doing it because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Like, this is the world of being an influencer. And so I just did it.
Yeah.
the thing that helps me today is I'm not the content. I am
Which
making
makes it a lot easier.
It makes it easier. It's not about the hair that I didn't do, and it's not about the fashion shows that it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be about this trial, and don't let it be a crime that I am passionate about. Oh, y'all finna hear this.
Yeah.
So that also has made it really easy for me to remain motivated because it's not me. It's me saying I'm not a lawyer, but here's a clip that's gonna play for 10 minutes. I'll be back at the end.
I think that's the part too that I think is taken. I actually had to have this conversation with Kevin. You take for granted what's required dependent upon your niche. So if you are receiving the content from the internet, that is different than being a beauty influencer.
Yeah.
That is different than being a lifestyle influencer. And so the requirement is, now you do got to do some pre-work. You need to watch, you need to read, you need to be educated. And then on the flip side, you know, if you're a lifestyle or beauty, you need to be aware of the trends. You need to make sure you got your American Express ready to swipe and buy the most current thing. You need to be at all of the events. When you show up, you need to be talking about something. You need to be linking something. You need to be affiliated with something. And so if that is not something that you are passionate about, something that you're genuinely interested in, it can feel daunting and overwhelming. And so that's where the niche, at least for me, that's where the niche part is different. Kev is taking stuff from the internet, making a video, putting his phone down for 15 seconds. I am making content.
It is very different.
And it's different. The set, and don't do a vlog style. And now I need to reposition the camera, and I need to do this. And can we do, because it can't just be one angle.
Don't include your children, because then you have to do their hair, and then make sure they have on an outfit, and then cut that out, and then pause it. What you sit your ass down, and then unpush play again, and
or like, can you take your uniform shirt off?
Right. Listen, and it is a full, and that's why I don't like when people look down on influencers. I'm like, they are production, they are hair and makeup, they are post-production, like they are a whole agency, and the talent, and and they're their manager, because now they are probably emailing and making sure they get the amount of money
your
that they
own
need.
assistant.
I was doing all of that, and people were like, you don't have, I said, no, I have no team, and I'm breastfeeding a baby and making breastfeeding content, and then people want me to post about the breast milk and the and the thing and the titty, and can we take a picture in your postpartum pants, because that's what I want to do, like yes I want to model postpartum like no, but I did, because you said you was gonna give me $40,000 for this post, so let me take a picture.
You got 40 for one post?
I've gotten way more than that.
Come on.
Okay, period.
Times have changed.
They have.
They've changed a lot.
I haven't gotten that this year. I haven't. I did like one deal this year, maybe. I don't know. But I also didn't. I really like told myself you gotta be careful what you say to God, because I literally kept saying for a whole year, I don't want to be an influencer anymore. I just want to get paid to write. I just want to be a writer. I want to write TV, and I want to make children's books and books. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do. And then I woke up and I was not an influencer anymore. And God was like, well, you asked me, baby. Now you do your other part that you said you want to do, but I took this part away from you.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my other question, just thinking about like trying to support folks right now and moms right now. Right? Can y'all think to a time that because I know there are privileged places that we're in now that we ain't always been in.
Oh,
so like a time where you did have to just like scrape and do the thing that you didn't want to do to help your family along. And I feel like I think of you because I don't know much about when y'all moved to LA. I know Kev's stories about getting fired and like then we moved and everything was different. How were you feeling and supporting your family at that time?
I think that the role that I've always had in my family is that I've always been the floor, meaning this is a level that we will not go below, because at the very least, Melissa's working. So when Kev got fired in Washington,
how old are the kids at that point?
Probably 2 and a baby.
Okay.
3 and a baby. The kids are only 2 years apart, so they're about. Joe was like 9 months or something like that. And so you know, when you're two household, back in the day, getting your hair done was like $50. It ain't no more. But it was like, I just won't get my hair done. I won't get my nails done. Like we had a mortgage. So I'm like, I'm going to make sure this money stretches as much as possible to ensure that everything is paid. And that's always been, you know, if we use the kite and the string example, like if Kev is the kite, I'm always going to be the one that's grounded and say, if the floor is here, I'm right here.
Yeah.
You know, we won't go below this. And so I've always had that role. When we moved to LA and Kev didn't have a job, neither one of us had a job at first. But when I started working at an aerospace company, it was like, okay, we now have insurance and we now have a consistent paycheck. We can afford these things. And so I've always, again, to the question of earlier, like it didn't matter if I liked my job or not. I had a family to take care of. I had bills to pay, and we needed a roof over our head. Like this was always like just my role. And so you figure it out. Like you're not even asking yourself, if this job is fulfilling. Who cares?
Wait.
Are you getting a paycheck every 2 weeks?
I have a question for you because this is actually really good, and I feel like maybe you might have to come on we might have to do another Mama's Den podcast where we talk about this specifically, because I'm trying to figure out like the most respectful way to ask this question. But I have single friends, right? And they're always talking about wanting a partner to meet them where they're at financially. So for you as a woman, did that bother you? Because when you look at your relationship, because what I'm hearing, Chia is our floor. Do you know what I mean? And he always has been, and I respect him so much for that. It doesn't really matter what I do, because he's like, as long as I keep my day job, you can dream however you want, baby. But he's like, you're not getting your nails done. You're not. It's not me saying that. It's him like, yeah, that's cool. I don't have no nails right now. So we all know where I'm at. But the floor. But for him, he's a man and he takes pride in that, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't mind, and his family, that's how it is. But for you as a woman and a Black woman, like, did you ever feel resentment or feel like because you're essentially the provider at that point.
Yeah.
Until whatever dream pops off or whatever. Like, how did that make you feel, or how did you even get comfortable being in that role?
You know what? I would say that because we had been together for so long, I didn't really consider myself the provider. I also never shamed Kev. It was never an issue of like, I'm doing this and you ain't doing nothing. Like we never had that. Yeah. That was never a thing for us. And I think that kept like the respect level for him and I. And even now, as I'm like trying to figure out my life, he's like very sensitive. Girl, you don't have to do nothing if you don't want to.
No, that's right.
I just wasn't raised that way.
Okay.
So
mama's here, y'all.
Correct.
They mama's here.
And I was raised by parents who were raised by single parents.
Yeah, same.
So, and my dad was raised by a single mom. So guess what? You need to make sure you have something.
For yourself.
And for myself. Yeah. And so it is important to me to bring money into my house. I'm going to pay for something. I'm going to pay for something.
Yeah, we already have evidence. There's no prenup, right?
No. we couldn't afford a prenup if we wanted to.
But now that we know that you was the provider first, you're good.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that it was ever like a question for me. There was never a disrespect. There was never a like an ego. There was never any of that.
Yeah.
There was never any of that. And to be honest, one of the things that like always crosses my mind when I think back to when I knew Kev was asking the question of this job is making me unhappy is we had a conversation with our pastor. And Kev was praying to God, like he just had this desire to do what he's doing now, and it wasn't happening. And he was like, God, if this is not your will for my life, like take this desire away from me. Like I don't want to feel like I want something else. Yeah. And I remember we sat in our pastor's office because we were trying to figure out what to do. And I remember saying to myself, if he's feeling this deeply, and I never felt that pull, like I could be working in corporate America all the I've never felt this desire to do anything different. So if you feel this strongly about this, I want to support that.
Oh, that's
I want to support something that is this important to you, that you're like literally crying and praying to God. Like if it's not supposed to be, just make it, take it away, make it do something else. I'll just watch my kids and do, basketball. And so I just always wanted to be in a position where I can like support whatever that is. I remember. Last thing I will say, I remember Kev does not remember this either, but I remember our pastor, you do like affirmations in church, and he had us do this affirmation. He had everyone come to the pulpit and yell whatever their affirmation was. And Kevin yelled, and as loud as Kevin be yelling, I'm gonna be a millionaire. And I remember looking at him like, what a crazy thing to say for an unemployed Negro. That is so crazy.
But he was right.
That is so crazy.
That's amazing.
But I'm like, he's always, to this day, will drive. I'm going to be, Mel knows this, I'll be in a private jet one day.
He sure too.
One day I'm going to be flying out of here private. Wow. One day, Melissa, if we could have a house anywhere, where would your dream house be?
Dream talk.
Where are you at? Why are you asking me this question? Why are you asking me this
paying
question?
for a house.
Yeah, I'm so confused. We live in LA already. That's a dream. It's so expensive here. But again, that's just who Kev is. I'm always like, the scarcity in me is I will return everything. I don't want to spend no more money. Low key, being a fashion influencer, it costs too much money. I don't need to be doing this with my life. I'll step away.
Yep.
Like all of these things, Kev is like, you can have whatever you like.
That's beautiful. I'm trying to tell my husband I can have whatever I like. Like, no, but actually, you cannot. What about you now?
Yeah.
We done went everywhere.
I know.
The
question
She's like, what was the original question?
I don't remember.
So, like, I don't know if that time where you got laid off was a time where you were like, what am I going to do?
Oh,
but, like, if it wasn't that time, like, because it feels kind of casual. Like, I got my family, they helped me out. But if there was another time where you were just like, I got to figure something out. We're in a tough spot.
So Greg is very much the kite.
It. She said that wasn't
String.
The string. Greg is the string. Greg is Melissa in
Wait,
our
will
relationship.
will y'all tell our audience, the Mama's Den audience, the kite and the string reference?
Please,
I know
got it from her.
The kite and the string reference is actually something that a stage crew gave to us, but it basically is the dynamic that exists in relationships where you have a dreamer, a kite, someone who's always like dreaming and trying to, go as close to the sun as possible is what I say. And then you have the string that's the person that's going to keep them from flying too close to the sun, because sometimes you fly too close to the sun and you burn. And so you're trying to keep them grounded and rooted in reality. But sometimes the tension between the kite and the string is that I want you to stay grounded and I want to dream. And so you can feel sometimes the dynamic is that you're going in opposite directions. So sometimes the dreamer can feel like the string is not supportive, and sometimes the string can feel like the kite is irresponsible.
What's the word you're going to choose there?
It can feel like
Yes.
you're reckless and
Yes.
irresponsible, and I want you to come down to reality and let's do the things.
100%.
Y'all
that
learn
make
a
more
kite and a
sense.
string.
Tell me more.
You are wind and he's a kite.
Come on.
Come on.
And you are guiding him. You're not holding him down.
Hey,
baby.
man, that was
it.
You're
good.
not. You're not a
It
string.
takes
That was good.
It takes a lot of maturity and
Yep.
communication to work through the kite and the string dynamic, or the kite and the wind dynamic,
Yeah.
to understand I'm not trying to hold you
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
I'm not here to to squash your dreams. I'm actually here to support
Yep.
and be the
To
wind,
guide you.
but
Yep.
to ensure it's done in a way that's responsible. But also, I also feel like for the kite, if you can come off your like moral high ground,
Come on.
you can also find the dreamer in you.
Yeah.
And that's what the kite is there
Yes.
for,
Yeah.
to like wake up something in you that's like dormant because all you want to focus on is reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is true.
Agreed.
Very true.
So yeah, Greg is a very grounded person, and so a lot. I'm not even a dreamer in the sense of like Kev is like a big dreamer like that. Everything feels, this is gonna sound really irresponsible, everything just feels very casual and like it's okay, it'll be all right. Like I just feel like everything will be all right.
Yeah.
And I feel like my dad was always a person who, as a child, I just feel like always made it happen. It didn't matter. I would be like, oh man, how did you think about that was gonna happen? You were foreseeing all of that. So I just am like, it'll be fine. And Greg is like, we need a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. And I'm like, let's talk about tomorrow. What are we going to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right.
So when I lost my job, it was very like, oh man, what are we going to do? I have severance. We'll be all right. By the time something will happen. then it did. So
Yeah.
the problem is
It
my
be working in your
life,
favor.
my life shows me that it's gonna be all right. When I have moments of like, well, are you being irresponsible? How come you're not freaked out? And everybody is feeling like you should be freaked out and you're not freaked out. So then I'm like, well, maybe I should get a job. I'm not getting a job. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. TikTok is acting crazy. Facebook's there. Like YouTube. I'll do the pod. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should. Anyway, that's the truth about who I am.
Love. Girl. Who child? Ashley.
I don't need to. I feel like you should go.
I mean, I told you that's kind of where I am now, is just kind of how do I make sure there's more opportunity than just what I mean, it's a pivot in some ways. Like, I can't control the film and TV business, and I can keep saying, I have these great ideas and let's do this. But you know what I'm saying? It's a little wild out here.
We got to do it
now.
ourselves, friend.
I agree.
Okay.
And we are.
We are. I know,
We
but like,
already
I'm
are.
talking about film and television. You know how I feel about that.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I know.
All right.
I
Okay.
know.
The thing, Hollywood is hard because a lot of it does feel like it's not in our control.
Yeah.
And like the gatekeepers are still not us.
No.
They're not.
And so it does make it difficult to like break in.
Yeah.
And then sometimes even, Kev has had a lot of wins here recently, and people would be surprised at like, wait, what, that was it though? Like the behind the scenes of it all. I feel like people would really be surprised as to like, is that really like, that's it? Because it's still not like, anyway, I don't want to go too deep,
No,
so
I
I'm going
get
to
it.
disregard.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, I feel like too, I always think about like Spike Lee, and I think about, he's one of my favorite directors, creators, period. But I think about Tyler Perry, and I just think about people who just make the things that they want to make.
I think about Tyler Perry a lot.
I do a lot, because I was definitely a judger. Because I love Spike Lee so much, I feel like I wasn't allowed to like Tyler Perry because it was just very different content. You know what I mean? And I didn't grow up in that type of church either. I grew up Muslim and Christian, but like it just didn't resonate with me, his content. So I think initially I was very judgy of it because like Spike is just making these very pro-blacky things that are like very progressive in that way. And I felt like Tyler was just creating black things that he wanted to create, that he wanted to see. Yeah. But what I have learned from him is that is what you're supposed to do. But Tyler Perry, and I've looked up, Jesus, my brain, it left me. Perimenopause. I don't even know who I was just talking about.
I don't either.
Spike Lee.
Thank you. See?
Oh, I thought it was a new
I
person.
thought you said Spike. I did too.
I thought she was about to make a point about.
I was making a
Okay.
point, but see, she's younger than us. And she was staying
She was
focused, and
keeping
the three of us were
listen,
somewhere else.
I did.
Now we're back.
I know. I was like,
Okay.
Spike Lee,
He's
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, same. And my brain I was like, wait, what was I talking about? Ooh. Squirrel. Right. Okay. I'm back. And no, what I was going to say is both of them have done the same thing. They just create differently.
Yeah.
You have to just create the things that mean something to you, and you have to just leave it in the universe.
Yeah.
And I think that is the struggle for a lot of us, and for me all the time. You know, like I'm like Kev, I'm crying to God all the time, like, stop making me want to know this stuff. And I had this dream of where I would be at 40, but I really did like a evaluation of my life of like a year ago, and I was like, girl, you're fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I could be dead, and that sounds very dramatic, but it's very true.
And is.
It's not though, because one, I used to hate getting older, and now I'm older than my older sister, which is weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I just think about like, well, she didn't get to see her son grow up, but I'm watching my babies grow up. So I don't know. I think when you were talking about in the other episode about how you can be very morbid, I've been like that since she died. So she was 24, I was 22. And so I think the moment that happened, like it completely changed the way I look at the world. And so I don't know, I consistently every single day I'm like, well, girl, you older than your older sister. So do you know what I mean? Like it's fine. Like I just feel like everything's fine. There's really like none of this even matters. Do you know what I mean? Like it really doesn't.
Do you have this nothing matters mentality?
I definitely don't have this nothing
matter.
I
matters
don't
mentality,
either.
especially right now. Okay, I love this for you. I do, and I listen. I know her well enough and see her life well enough to understand and admire how at peace she is with her husband and her children and the life that they have built. And I love that for you. And it is a privileged place. A lot of people don't feel that way. And that's okay. Like, I love that for you. And so, yeah, like full stop.
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to do is to be able to kind of recap, because the reality is I kind of stole this episode and really wanted to talk about how challenging we know things are right now for a lot of people, and how, I see a lot of creators. It's funny because I just joined TikTok. I was told
TikTok's a great
by
time.
this agency that Ashley set me up with that I have to be on TikTok.
Like,
So
I
y'all,
know what I'm
please
doing.
increase my followers from
Take her
23 to whatever number
Follow
is
Cody
here.
What is
Yes,
your name
follow
on
her
there?
on
She is,
TikTok.
this is me announcing my TikTok.
Yes,
I love
please.
it. She is Cody Elaine.
She is Cody Elaine.
And I'm just, having fun over there.
CODIE.
Yes,
is very fun.
CODIE. So over there is interesting because I see 1,000 posts a day that are like, you can make more money doing this, and you can, and that told me that people need to make more money, because every post is somebody telling folks how to make more money, and so they're
We're
either
in the
not making that
matrix.
money and they're lying so that you click the link and buy their
Yeah,
whatever.
because everything is expensive. Hold on.
Oh Lord.
I bought
Keep your thought.
Yes, keep your thought. I bought heavy whipping cream yesterday, the day before. The small one, not the big one. The small one. It was $5.96.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's insane.
The big one used to be that
Yeah,
price.
yeah.
That's
It is
wild.
insane.
This is why we all need more money.
It is.
Or just don't eat heavy whipping cream.
You know what? We're not going to talk about the smoothie that's sitting in front of you from that place where smoothies cost over $20.
My husband's gonna be so mad.
But my point is just that it was clear to me in seeing that people are having a tough time.
Yeah.
And so what I'm gathering, right, is a couple of things from all of you who have created lanes, even if you have abandoned those lanes today because you don't need them, but have created lanes that you weren't in before, right? And I'm hearing, like, first off, do the thing that you love, like that you would do, I would say would do for free, but don't want to. Do the thing that you love, and like, the audience will come. If you
Yeah.
build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And I would say that's one
It's
lesson.
in the Bible.
It's also a Kevin Costner movie, but
Wait, is it actually in the
yeah,
Bible?
it's what is it?
Was it said I
Yes.
told him about the
Oh, in
was
the
it
Bible.
Noah's
No, I
Ark?
can't speak to that. She would
He
know.
said if they built it, they will come. I don't
Isn't
remember
that
this
in the Bible? Can you Google?
My
it?
mama
I
said
was-
no.
I
It's
don't-
not.
I don't think so either, but I don't know.
That
She said
exact
that ain't
phrase
it,
is
baby. That ain't
What
it.
is it? Because people been telling me that's been the Bible all
Somebody
these years.
look. Somebody gonna tell us.
Is it?
Field
of
of Dreams is the
Dreams.
movie that I was talking
Field
about.
of Jeans, 1989.
Direct Bible quote, but a famous
No direct Bible quote. I want to say it into the mic, okay?
Your mama knew too. She said,
Yeah, I was.
baby,
I don't remember that
No,
in the
baby.
Bible. I don't even know what the close
It
is.
said God basically told Moses. Basically,
I knew he
God
told
was
one of
like,
them.
if you build it,
That's
Moses.
facts.
Well,
Yes,
that happens
they
a
gonna
lot
show up.
because
Yeah, see?
Ish Just Happens is in the Bible.
What happened?
Oh, it is. You know
What's
that's
in
my
the
favorite
Bible?
scripture.
Yeah.
Ish just happens.
Ish.
I didn't
don't
say
swear.
ish.
I don't know what verse. Y'all don't swear.
I don't swear.
That's beautiful.
Mel swears.
I'm
she don't
working
love
on
him.
not swearing anymore.
She's not.
Mother,
My mama
We-
didn't. Well,
we
my
fall
mama
down
didn't
and we
raise
get up.
me for this either. But
that is in the Bible. A chapter Kirk Franklin.
Chapter Franklin. That's Donnie McClurkin.
wait, what did you say? We fall down and we get up.
Yeah, I
Lord.
don't know. Listen, I just
That
listened
is
to
Donnie
the song.
McClurkin.
Listen, I was doing
McClurkin.
Ramadan and
Said
I'm
Field of
confused.
Dreams, the Bible, same.
A lot of information
Yeah,
in here.
so it's too much.
Wait, somebody said Cody. Oh, they just told you what TikTok is. She is Cody Lane.
Yes.
Thanks, y'all.
Okay,
I
stay
love
focused.
Cat will
No,
put it
no,
in
but
there.
I
No, Catherine
love
will
the
put it
No,
in.
you
is
cannot
gonna
read
love
that.
the
She's saying she
Patreon.
can't find. Hold on.
She needs it her own Patreon.
Also, as like a producer, I'm like, y'all tell us what y'all want us to talk about. Anyway,
Oh.
so one, right? Do the thing you love,
Mm-hmm.
and let the audience come, let the brand deals come. We speak it, okay?
But can we also say this, though? I think that this might be a damper, and I apologize.
I love a damper girl. Say it.
All of us aren't meant to be influencers.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm not speaking of just that.
Oh, okay.
That's
Do the
true.
thing you love, whether that is talking about legal stuff, whether that is creating hats and
Okay.
selling them on Etsy,
Or working at
whether
your
that
job.
yes, whether that is
She
working
loves
at
his
your
day
job,
job.
whether that is getting a
Loves it.
job to make ends meet because it makes you feel good to be able to be that person in the family, which kind of brings me to the next one, which is like figure out, as my best friend would say, your minimum standard of care. You said the floor. right? Figure out like what your floor is, what you're willing to accept, and what's going to stress you out if you get a little, beneath that, and what you want to do about it, right? And like if that means get the non-glamorous job or whatever, just like do it.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of what I'm taking from this.
Yeah. I'm going to give you guys something else too, though.
Give it to us.
I would like to say that all of us collectively need to release ourselves from the shackles of consumerism, because I just feel like the way we're taking aside like basic needs. So I want to be very clear.
I was
like,
talking about basic
everyone needs
right?
their basic needs met.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people who think that they are depressed about money, and they are not. They are consuming, and they're over consuming, and they're watching on Instagram and being told that they need something, and they have this beautiful life, and they're not even looking at their real life because they're looking online, comparing themselves to other people. So I would say really take a step back and take an evaluation, an inventory of your life, and ask yourself, like, am I actually happy? Am I actually fine? That's what I'm saying, like how I got to this space. I said somebody might
feel
look
like
at my
I'm
bank
on this
account.
journey.
Yes.
I think this is why content is not my thing.
I was feeling that energy from you. I'm recognizing what I'm seeing because that's where I got. But I'm not saying that I'm a multi-million billionaire. No, what I'm saying is that I am fine with what I have, and I currently do not wish to have much more. I want to always be able to provide for my children and my family, and as long as I'm in that space, and provide, again, looks different for everyone, right? What I'm considering providing, someone else could be like, well, I want to be able to afford for my kids to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I'm just cool with them doing da-da-da. They good. You know what I mean? Like, they're fine.
I honor that point, but I also really wanted to speak to like the fact that this year alone, like 300,000 Black women.
Yes.
So I'm just like, there are people who are like, what am I going to do?
Yes, it's hard. But I had my dream job in New York, and I was a ballet dancer, and I was teaching dances, and then I decided to have sex and get pregnant. And that's what happened. And I had to start my whole life over. And when I moved back to Ohio, I was working at the Soup King.
Come on,
7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, all my friends who graduated from school, they had their nice little downtown jobs, and they had their little briefcases, and like, corporate world was like the goal when we were all like, I got a corporate job, and I'm in there like, would you like cheddar bisque?
Yeah.
Do you want your soup in a
Not
bread
cheddar
bowl or a
bisque.
regular bowl?
Yeah.
And she still had the same job that he has. He had a regular job. He'd had a different path. He stayed home in college. He worked. He bought a house when he was 21. He just did the very Midwestern way of living. And I was like, I'm going to New York and I'm dancing. I'm doing what I want. And then I got pregnant and I came home and I was like, well, this is very ghetto because now I'm serving people soup. And I was sad. But my point is that I did what I needed to do, because that might be the case for a lot of people now.
Yeah.
And I kept working and I kept talking to God and I kept trying to figure out, how do I want to pivot? I went back to school again. Do you know what I mean? And it led me to here.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, don't feel it hurts and it sucks when you have to start over. But I just want to keep encouraging people not to feel bad about themselves.
Yes,
and not
that's important.
And to
There's
try to
so many
release yourself
people
from the heaviness
experiencing this.
Yes, because when you're experiencing this, I think a lot of it comes from comparison.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people have to start over. People who are housewives and their husbands die, and then they have to now become the provider. Like, people get divorced. Like, these things will happen to anybody. You have to have this spirit that there's nothing wrong with starting over. There's no job that's beneath you. If you're providing for your family, whether it's TikToking, doing makeup tutorials, or working at McDonald's, you are an amazing person because you're providing for your family.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with that. So just keep that in your heart and spirit.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on that? To encourage the people?
We want to encourage the people.
We want to encourage the people.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will say one thing that that opened my eyes. I, like I said, worked at Netflix as a content executive, and that involves taking pitches a lot from people. And one of the reasons I probably wasn't the best at it is because I hated feeling so judgmental. Like, you would take a pitch and people would be so excited to present their life's work to you and like to show how this is this, and they're really excited, and we would leave those meetings and just, that's a pass. And I used to feel so like the nerve. Who are we to say why that's bad? And it's a subjective job, and so even amongst the executives, taste is so judged. Like, you like that? I did until you said that like that, you know?
Yeah.
And you would have to, maybe you take a pitch and you're excited about it and you now have to like fight for it amongst your team.
Yeah.
And I just left that job feeling like I hate this because who are y'all? And you make a project and it doesn't do anything. And yet you get to keep making projects.
Yeah.
And you're the tastemaker, you're the person who gets to
Girl.
decide what's good. And so I say all of that to say none of these people know what they're doing. No one knows what they're doing. We're all making it up, okay? We're making it up as we go. So don't feel bad about whatever space you're in and feeling like the person above you knows so much more because they're making this stuff up.
I love that. We're making it up as we go.
We really are.
We really
It's
are.
all fake.
So just do whatever it is that you want to do, that you're called to do, that you have to do, because the reality of life is that you have to do. Just do that thing.
Amen.
It's
Do
do
that
it.
thing.
Yes.
I like that. Okay, y'all. This has been part 2
Yes.
of the Gin and Juice Mama's Den mashup. For the Mama's Den audience, part 1 is on the Gin and Juice stream. So that's the Apple podcast and the Spotify.
Everywhere podcasts are.
Everywhere podcasts are available. And you will see all 4 of us chatting all the things. And so this is part 2. So everybody got to listen to both parts. I know the Patreon, the Gin and Juice Patreon, which is what? Stage Crew? Kev on Stage?
And
I'm not Lori, but
Is it called something? Okay. All them Patreons?
yeah,
Together?
it's Mel's Patreon and ours together.
Together?
Well,
That's
so
what
this
this
one
is?
Patreon, they just
Oh, we send out one link to both of our Patreons,
So
and
then
then
they
they
just
just
pull up.
join.
Okay, can we do a master class?
Masterclass.
So the Patreon has already seen all of this. Y'all tell the world how great it is. For the Mama's Den audience, you know, we are here every Monday, sometimes with Melanie Fiona, who is the third mama in the Mama's Den.
all the time with Melanie Fiona.
Well,
except
she's
for
not here today, baby.
Okay, so
The Mama's Den is now everywhere. We are not in our LA studio. We are everywhere. So next up, we'll be in Atlanta live on November 3rd.
Oh, we want to talk to you guys about that.
so cool.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Absolutely.
coming.
Well, I wanted to hear about it.
Yes,
Like, yeah.
Well, let's definitely.
Yes.
So yeah, buy tickets, citywinery.com. Also send us DM at the Mama's Den Podcast. Send us emails at podcasts
with an S.
at blacklove.com. And make sure you leave a review and rate us and all that stuff.
All the things.
We're also
Yes.
on YouTube, on Black Love's YouTube page, the Mama's Den Podcast.
Wait, everybody say where you can find your Instagrams,
Yes,
whatever,
all the
and TikTok.
things.
real quick.
Yes. I'm not a lawyer, but it's very long. But it's I'm not a lawyer, but everywhere. You can look it up and see me.
Okay. Watermelon egg rolls.
Cody Co on Instagram, and she is Cody Elaine on TikTok.
I was gonna say, it looks like we got you over 100.
Thank you
So great.
Thank you guys.
First off, Kat James led the charge, and I really appreciate
She's
it.
actually
So
really,
gonna come
she's
through.
at a
Y'all are
time.
the best.
Yeah, Catherine's really amazing.
I love your audience.
Stage Crew's amazing.
I know.
Yeah,
They're
We might come
amazing.
here every
I
Monday.
know.
they're super supportive.
They are really
like
good.
really amazing.
Well,
Group of supporters.
come see us in Atlanta if you're in
Yes.
Atlanta or
Yeah,
close
pull
by,
up.
November 3rd.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What about you?
I am Miss Kev on Stage everywhere. I feel like I wanted to say this really quickly. Because I feel like I just got to say it.
Say it.
Some of the things that I say, I'm very honest and transparent, but sometimes I feel like let me say it this way.
Poor baby.
I don't want y'all to feel sorry for me.
Oh.
She lived a really great life.
Amen.
First off, not
Amen.
past tense.
She lives.
lives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard lived. I heard lived. I was like, we're not doing that.
No. When
Eulogy?
the questions that I have are just because I'm a deep thinker. I live an amazing life.
Amen.
I'm grateful for this life. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for the position that I am in. I don't want to get emotional.
Come on,
but
get
I'm
emotional,
42.
girl.
Sometimes
Let's
I do.
go.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say that because the questions that I have are because meaning is important to me.
Yes.
Content doesn't have to be that avenue, but because I'm surrounded by this, I try to force myself to fit. But without it, I live a great life.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's very clear. And I want you to sit in that and enjoy it and not have to. I understand. I feel like we're very similar. I'm realizing this as I'm talking to you. I'm the same way. And the more you think, the more you detach.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. That's
Yeah.
why people who are great thinkers and that they're usually alone, on a mountaintop somewhere. But I just think that it's beautiful, and I feel like people can see your heart.
Yeah.
And I think they're very clear on that. You have a good heart. You create things and you use your platform for good and for love and for laughter and for sharing, and you're not doing anything that's taken away from the community or destructive.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to do whatever you want, baby.
And you also
Okay.
deserve to be happy and
Yes.
fulfilled as an individual,
Yes.
whatever that looks like. You deserve to look at your life and be like, this is amazing. Why do I feel pulled to do something new or something different or have a new hobby or whatever?
Yeah.
Right.
And explore that
Yeah.
and then take it on.
But also, can
That's
we
why I want to be you.
listen? She says this all the time.
I do. I
Can
really
we
do.
also leave space as a community? We have to collectively, I'm going to hold y'all's hands as Black people. We need to stop needing everyone to struggle. It's okay for Black people to be happy.
Yeah.
It's okay for other Black people to be wealthy. It's okay for them
Yeah.
not to be struggling. And I shouldn't have to tell people that I grew up poor every time I talk about my life right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I have to, because every time I say something that people are like, you don't understand. I do understand. We had food stamps. Calm the fuck down. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But can I move on from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, just let Black women be happy. They shouldn't have to tell you how much they make, what they're living, where they're living. If she's happy, and it's her business.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
She's allowed.
Someone said Aisha Curry. I think
I
I'm
almost
going to be
said
done.
it, but I wasn't trying to pivot. But
Yeah, because I know
felt
we
it.
need to close. I think that people, anyway.
No, say.
No.
No,
We
say.
actually
No,
talked
we did a
about
whole
it.
episode about this. Talk
We did?
about it.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Really?
Talk about
because,
it. And yeah.
because here, I'll open it for you. You can say what you want. But we all felt like she deserves the same thing, to have a beautiful life.
Yeah.
But also to explore. I had different goals
Yes.
20 years ago that
Yes.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
And I might have all these opportunities, but I've been raising these kids and I've been wife to this man and I've been exploring some of them. But I still feel pulled,
Yes.
right, to do X, Y, and Z. Like that was her truth, and she
Right.
shared that, and people were like, "Oh my God, why aren't you just happy
Yeah.
and rich?"
Yeah.
And I think that's why 100%. And I think that's why I'm always trying to preface everything with an acknowledgement of privilege, because I
Yes.
don't want to sound, it's really easy and the internet will
Yes,
misconstrue
yes,
you
they will.
Every time.
to make
Happens
you
to me every
sound
day.
bratty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
every
so I
time.
want to be very conscious and aware
Yeah.
of the place that I'm in, and allow for these questions.
Yeah.
And allow for this pool, and allow for me to say oh, I do live a beautiful life. What is this feeling here
Yeah.
that I need to fulfill?
Yeah.
And I don't know that the internet always allows.
It doesn't.
doesn't.
It doesn't. But we're fighting against that, because I am fighting the good fight of the people. Because my mom used to be in the Nation of Islam. She's a Black Panther. And we have to stop letting economics separate us. I don't need to know how much money somebody makes in order for me to feel sorry for them. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's literally what people are saying. You're rich, so I don't feel bad for you. That is very insane. Rich people kill themselves. That money does not equate to happiness.
Yeah, that's true.
And I learned that from my mother. That does not matter. If a Black woman is telling you she's sad, she's happy, she's stressed, just listen to her and support her. Why do you need to know her bank account in order for you to have empathy? That's very insane.
Yeah.
So my hope for you going into this next year is that you don't have to keep doing a preference, and you can just say your feelings.
Amen.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to stop telling people that I grew up poor. Y'all about to think that
This is the last
I was
time.
rich. Shit, I'm not saying that for a whole damn year. Y'all can figure it out on your own. Go listen to an old episode. I'm not poor no more.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I want to be to the point.
Get to a
It
point.
gets so deep, right?
Yeah.
Because I also am sensitive to people are without jobs.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
But people are also without sisters.
And without sisters.
Because you can make more money, but I can never grow my sister
The
back.
fact that your mother just laughed at that, Melissa
just
and,
saying.
and Mel's mom is right here,
Some-
and Ashley has done this bit enough. That's hilarious.
I just want people to remember that. People really been going through shit. I talked to a lady the other day who, because
is
it's
she like
true.
this?
People,
You were right,
people
baby
don't
girl.
think
You are
about
right.
that. I talked to a lady the other day who comes up and shows up at the dance studio. She's amazing, and she was talking to me about
Ashley's kids
she
go to
lo-
Debbie Allen Dance
Yes, I
Academy.
do go to Debbie. Shout out to Debbie Allen Dance
Oh, that's
Company. They're
amazing.
amazing. I love it. The girls love it. They're obsessed. Come to the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker. They're in it. Yes,
They were there. They were in it.
They were in like multiple
I
scenes.
think
again.
you invited her.
I did.
Because she invited me. We were out of town and you went.
Yes. But listen, if you want to come again, let me know. Oh, okay. But no, what I was going to say is she was talking to me. She's so lovely, and she was sharing. She has two living children, and her daughter in between passed. She had to deliver her early. And she was telling me the story, and I'm just standing in the dance studio bawling, crying. It was just 2 days ago. And I was like, you would never know that. Because she just comes in there and she gives love and she's kind. And people just look at her. She's Jewish. They just assume, oh, she's Jewish. She has money. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, she lost a whole baby. I've not lost any children. Do you know what I mean? She had to deliver her baby alive and then it died. Like that's very sad. And people just look, and I was like, we shouldn't have to tell people that. I should not have to tell you my struggles for you to connect with me as a human being. Yes, it's important to share, but like, can we just be nice to each other?
Right.
Can we just
Girl,
be happy
especially
for each
in
other?
2025.
Yes.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yes. Then nobody needs to tell you their whole damn life story. Just be nice.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to
Well,
leave it on.
okay.
Thank you.
First
I'm
off,
done.
I
I'm done
love
for real.
y'all's Patreon crew.
Yes,
they're
me
amazing.
too.
I've had a great time with them. I've had a great time with our part 1 and part 2.
Yes, us too.
Gin and Juice, Mama's Den
I love
mashup.
It was great.
And everybody, follow. We done already gave y'all the
Yes.
socials and
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
So,
Well, thank you very much for having us.
Yes,
thank you for having us in your studio.
Yes, we appreciate it. She said her.